Now we're going to talk about Chappelle's show, that extraordinary.
The way the show came about was real weird, because me and Neil, after Half-Baked, went our separate ways. We were good friends, but it was just like leaving a crime scene or something. And then I was sitting out on that farm rotting, and it was weird. I was watching this thing about Hugh Hefner having Playboy After Dark. And I said, I should do a show like that. It's weird. Let me call Neil up. We started talking about variety shows. We wanted to do something that was real personal. That was just, I don't know, it was just, the word personal kept coming up.
How long did it take you to produce a show?
The show was a monster. You know, we did the show, we first come up with the format, we're like, man, why hasn't anyone ever done a show like this before? I mean, 18-hour days. We writing it. We write. We look at casting tapes. We look at locations. Every element of the show, man. The show was real micromanaged, and it was coming through two dudes.
One of the most famous characters appeared in the very first show. Who is Clayton Bigsby?
He's a guy that writes all this subversive white supremacist literature. So he do this thing where it's like a frontline piece. They go out into the mountains to meet him, and they find out he's blind and he's black.
And doesn't know that he's black.
He has no idea.
And he is a vicious racist, right?
Correct.
By any measure, opening the series with Bigsby was a gamble.
Yeah, let me tell you, putting something like that out there is scary, man. That show is like, listen, if you don't like that, you're not going to like the show.
It was a good test, right?
Not a test as much as a manifesto or a mission statement.
You have to see Bigsby to believe it. I wonder, Dave, if you'd permit me to speak to Clayton for just a moment.
All right, at your own risk.
I've been at risk since you walked out on this stage. I'm doing it. I'm happy. Mr. Bigsby.
What do you want, Jew?
I hope, Mr. Bigsby, that you'll forgive me for raising a sensitive issue, but we know from the Frontline documentary that you did discover that you are, how shall I put it, not white. How has that changed your life?
Well, it's changed my life in several ways. First of all, I understand why my penis is so long.
Well, I would say that's an advantage to being black.
Yes, it is. Other than that, the advantages have gone down tremendously.
I see. Has your realization in any way affected or softened your attitude toward our black brothers and sisters?
Absolutely. Now I have tasted brown sugar and I will never go back.
Have you stayed in touch with your friends in the KKK?
We still write and call each other from time to time. It's a little weird, though, knowing that they knew the whole time I was black. Never told me anything about that. Don't think a real good friend would do something like that, do you?
That's true. Tell me, do you miss the warmth of those cross burnings?
Well, the food was good.
What kind of food would you have at a cross burning, for example?
Hot dogs.
Really? Really?
Chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, it was much better hanging out with fellow colored people of color. Excuse me.
Yes.
Yes, it is. The music is better, turns out.
That's true. God knows. Yeah.
Yes, and I have learned to love spice.
I see. So you've turned your back on music like the Tennessee Waltz, for example.
Sometimes I listen to it, mostly when I masturbate. I'm sorry, I don't know what that means.